Yes, welcome to today's lesson, and we are continuing with our topic, fractions, and today we are going to talk about addition and subtraction of fractions. Now, there are some things you have to note. When dealing with fraction, it's always important that you do express your fraction into what we call simplest form. So it's paramount that your fraction are always what we call simple form. And by simple form, what I mean is that when you have a fraction such as 6 over 10, we have a fraction over 5 over 15, then we have a fraction like 21 over 42. Now, if you have this kind of fraction, person who's really keen in working with fraction should be noticing that this is not the simplest form this fraction can be expressed in. For example, still you can have 2 goes here, going 3, go here 5. So eventually I want to have what we call 3 over 5. You can still have 5 go here 1, 5 go here 3, and eventually I want to have a third. In this case, we can also have 21 goes here 1, 21 goes here what we call 2. So in other words, this one is likely to bear for us an answer that is a half. Now, that's how we call expressing something in the simplest form. Now, how do you do this? When you want to express something or a fraction into the simplest form, you always ensure that the first thing is that numerator is not bigger than denominator. And another thing, if at all there's a way both numerator and denominator, there's still a common number that can divide the two, then that number is not expressed into the simplest form. And therefore, what you need to do, you have to divide between the lowest form that can ever be, that is possible. And this one is being done by using what we call highest common factor. You look for the common factor, which is the highest between the denominator and the numerator. If you don't find that there's a number that you can work comfortably with and do the division, then you can choose any number to start cancelling out until you get what you want. For example, 35 and 105. Looking at this, immediately you might not know which number to use the greatest highest factor. So you can start by 5. Remember that this is 5. 5 goes here 7. 5 goes here 2, 1. Now, looking at this one, there's still another number which can go here. 7 goes here 1, 7 goes here 3. So the number is 3. So anybody looking for the highest common factor will just decide that in 35 by 105, and notice that 35 can divide 105. So 35 goes here 1, 35 goes here 3 times, then you get a third. But if you find out that you have a problem with working with this number, then look for a way that you can have this number reduced until you arrive at this point. Now, so what next? Now, if you do not find the highest common factor, straight away just cancel one by one factor at a time until you can not cancel any further. Now, we have marked examples here. In the first one, we're having 70 over 210. Now, looking at this one, you look at this and you find that you might be not be able to cancel by big numbers. So you can say 10 goes here how many times? 7. 10 goes here how many times? 1. 7 goes here 1. 7 goes here how many times? 3. So your answer is 5. But for someone who is able to notice that 21 is a factor of 7, or rather 7 can go into 21, so you can say 70 over 210, just say 70 goes here 1, 20 goes here 3 times, and your answer is 5. So depending on which method you are conversant with or something which you think can work for you, then embrace one and you solve your problem. For example, we have 48 here over 60. Now we are going to look for the highest common factor. The highest common factor here is 12. But then again, you can say 48. 48, how many times does 4? You can begin with 4. You can begin with 6. But if we embrace it, then the highest common factor is 12. 12 goes here how many times? 12 goes here 4 times. And 12 goes here how many times? 5. So when you are given a fraction, then you end up with something like 48 over 60. You look and see whether there's still a common factor that can divide both the numerator and the denominator. So if that one can work out, then it's good for you. Now, the third example is 2 over 14. 2 over 14, straight away you can see 2 goes here 1, 2 goes here 7. So answer is 7. That one, then there's no other number that can divide that one further. Then you can have a number like 21 over 35. Now the common number that can go here is 7 can go here 3 times. 7 can go here how many times? 5. So we are likely to have 3 over 5 as our answer. Now, that one being said, now we know how to have a number reduced. We have a number reduced to the simplest form. Now we can add and subtract, and the answer we get, we can work on expressing it into its simplest form. Now, by adding or subtracting, ensure that they have the same denominator. So the first thing you have to do is that they have the same denominator. If you find that the denominator are not equal, then you have to make them equivalent. If the denominator is not equal, then you have to make the denominators equivalent. And this one is by looking for a common denominator. And after looking for the common denominator, then you can subtract the first one from the second, or you can add the two and find your answer. And remember, finally when you find your answer, you have to express your answer in the simplest form possible. Don't find your answer in a way that will not be the same. For example, you end up with an answer like 1 and 3 over 6. You can notice that we can still go here, we can still go here. Otherwise, the answer that we'll be seeking for is 1.5. So ensure that whenever you work out your answer, it has to be the simplest, as simple as possible. Then another thing you have to do when you are working out the denominator, ensure that you have the common denominator with the least value. For example, we can have 24 plus 12, or rather 24 plus 5. So 24 plus 5, this one is over 12, this one is over 2. Now, the first person can choose as to have LCM as 12, so that you have 24 plus that. Another person can have 24 over 12 plus 5 over 2. And this person chooses to multiply these two and get 24 as the LCM. This one will be going twice, 8, plus this one will go here, 16. So at the end of the day, the two of you, if you simplify, you are going to get the right answer. But whoever uses LCM, the least LCM here, is likely to have not to run through simplification. This one you have to simplify. Actually, you have to divide by 2 in order to arrive to where this person is. So ensure that whatever you are choosing, whatever the number you are choosing, the denominator has to have the lowest value as possible. Now we are going to put a stop at that end. When we come back, now we are going to work on the